Hey guys, what's up? As always, you're all doing well. It's Friday at 5:07. Just got out, officially done for the week, which is a nice feeling. A good day at work, honestly. Was very easy, if I'm being honest. Really wasn't much to do. So, finished up pretty early. But I decided to stay. And one, because I felt like it was the right thing to do, but really just because I want to stay and at least, be available if anything came up last second and someone needed help with something, just to be a helping hand if something came up. And nothing came up, just kind of sat around waiting for the clock to strike 5. So all good, but something had a little bit of a bonehead moment, if I'm being honest, and something kind of funny happened that I thought I could share because it at least made the day a little more interesting. So I'm trying to just eat up the last couple minutes of time before I clock out for the day, and I decided just to kill some time and go to the bathroom, grab my lunchbox from the break room, just to eat up the last few minutes of the workday. So that's what I do. And so with the way that the building's laid out that I work in on campus is that it's an open floor, and then there's an elevator. There's a separate elevator lobby kind of room, and there's a door separating the work floor, the office floor, from the little elevator bathroom lobby area. And you need we have key cards for my company, and we scan our cards at the doors to get through, or else they just won't open as a security thing. And so I get up from my desk, I go to the bathroom, and I get out of the bathroom, and I go to the door to go to the break room and grab my stuff from the fridge. And I quickly realize that I don't have my key card on me. I'm like, oh, great. And so I'm locked out from the break room / office floor. And keep in mind it's Friday, so literally no one's in the office. I was literally the only one on the floor by that time in the day. So I'm like, oh, great. There's no one there to let me in. I'm kind of stranded. So I had to go down the stairwell to the lobby and go to the security desk and be like, hey, I had a really dumb moment. I went to the bathroom and left everything on my desk, my key card and everything. And they had to do some security checks, ask my name and my employee number and some other stuff to confirm that I wasn't some bad guy. I was me. And then so they had to walk me up and open the door for me and walk me to my desk. And I was like, okay, thanks guys, I'm good now, appreciate it. And I don't know, it was kind of funny looking back, but I was it happened, and I was like, oh my god, I'm such a bonehead, man. For that to happen at 4:55 in the afternoon, it's whatever. I'm not mad about it. It's funny if anything, but yeah, that was just a little something interesting and maybe a little humorous at that happened today. But yeah, other than that, good day at work. Honestly, kind of glad that we're going into the weekend. Looking forward to it, so that's good. But yeah, I know if you watched yesterday's video, I kind of did a little bit of an accidental emotional dump onto you guys, but I think it's a good thing for that to happen every now and then, because one, it's always good to to get stuff off your chest and off your shoulders if it becomes a little too much. And also it also just means that I care a lot about, my well-being and my goals and my future and what I want everything in my life to be. It just shows that, I care about it. If I'm having to almost like emotion dump on you guys, it just, means that I care a lot about it. So again, that's not a bad thing at all. But yeah, so I was kind of thinking back on yesterday's video and kind of thinking how I was talking about how I'm kind of slipping away from the person that I used to be, which, is kind of a given because the only thing constant in life is change. But I felt as if I was kind of slipping away from the person that I want to be, and the person that I was on I was on a different track. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I think it through perfectly in my mind, and then I go to tell you guys about it, and it never seems to come out the same, for better or worse. But yeah, just thinking that I'm kind of on like a whole new path and mentality and kind of subconscious game in life now, and it's getting away from the person that I was, right before I started working, and I want to get back to that. And so what that means is that things have to change, and AKA I have to, make things change. So yeah, this weekend coming up is kind of big because, this is where I'm going to start to, pivot a little bit and start to make even more changes. My life has been full of plenty of changes over the past month or two with work starting and all this other stuff. Like especially this thing too. But I do kind of feel like I'm getting away from, how I should truly be thinking and feeling and acting and really just living and being. And I want to get back to that. I'm still in a good headspace and all, but I feel like it feels as if it's a step down from where I am, and then I'm not in as serene of a place as I was before. So I do want to start to get back to that, and so I have to make changes, because nothing changes if nothing changes. So I have to kind of pick my brain and search my soul a little bit to get myself back on the track that I want. So again, this weekend coming up is going to be a big one for that. So yeah, with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going hiking with my buddies. I'm going to look at some mountains and some landscapes and just kind of be with nature a little bit. Be with nature and be with good people. So that's definitely going to help a lot. I was thinking a little bit on it today because I finished up early and I had some time. But I also feel like it would help a lot to kind of get me back on the path that I want to get on, to kind of switch up my habits a little bit. Not like any major changes, but just small little tweaks. And also just, do some more things and switch some other things up to kind of switch up my mind a little bit. So that could be reading a different book or watching a certain movie or documentary or some video. So getting back into meditation and all that, and really just trying to both do things that I was doing before when I really liked how everything was going that I'm not doing now, and also just try out new things as well and see what happens and see what sticks. Kind of throwing some spaghetti on the wall and finding out what's sticking and what's not, in a way. That's what the plan is this weekend. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna end up watching, like, settle down, have some good food, wind down for the day and throw on a good movie and maybe get to bed a little early, catch up on some sleep, wake up early, and then go hike with my buddies, come back, and then yeah, who knows what goes on from there. And then Sunday, you know, maybe watch some football, do some meditating, some reading, just any sort of, you know, learning and growing in a way. And yeah, just sprinkle in some of the old things that I did and that I wasn't doing, that I'm not doing now, and yeah, so I think that's what the plan is. I know I'm kind of emotion and mind and brain dumping on you guys again for 2 days in a row, so I apologize if you don't want to hear me just BS about myself, but yeah, again, just kind of airing out everything inside of my brain and inside of my soul right now, and you know, maybe if you're watching this you feel the same way, and you know, just hearing me talk about all this stuff, it just lets you know that, you know, you're not alone. Like, we're in the same boat. We're all in this together. So yeah. What else? What else? Had a few thoughts during lunch today. And that was another thing too that like I've noticed is like, normally if I would, and maybe like these videos, it kind of like just drains my brain of all my good thoughts, which, you know, is a good problem to have at that. But, you know, one thing I've noticed recently, within the past week or two, is that before I could just sit down and all these thoughts and things would kind of just come to me and flow through my head, and I'd have all these really good thoughts very quickly, and now it's kind of slowed down and quieted down a lot, is what I've noticed. So again, that's another reason why I'm trying to reset everything and get back on track to where I want to be and where I feel I should be. But yeah, so was thinking a little bit during lunch, and of course, you know, with the company I work at, even though there wasn't a lot of people at work today at the office, you know, there's a good amount, and some cool people driving some cool cars that I saw eating lunch outside today. And I know I've talked about it a little bit before, but you know, you can't help but look at those cool cars and wonder, you know, how much it costs and what else you can do with that money. I know I mentioned in a previous video that, you know, I always think about and wonder, you know, like what kind of plane ticket could that car buy you, or what kind of backpacking trip through Europe can that car buy you and your family too, and any other loved ones in your life. That's always what I kind of first think about, because, you know, that's kind of what I learned I'm very passionate about, and what I care a lot about in this life is traveling and experiencing different cultures around the world, and everything within that. But I was also kind of wondering, and again, this is kind of weird coming from, you know, like kind of a car guy, a little bit of a car nerd, is that, you know, as cool as a cool car is and an expensive car is, you know, what's kind of the point of having a cool, expensive car if it just drives you to your 9 to 5 every day? I kind of want to let that sit there for a few seconds and let it set in for you guys, because it's pretty eye-opening to me. You know, what's kind of the point of having a new, expensive, shiny, fast, sporty car if all it does is just drive you to work every day? You know, and you can expand on other things from there, like, what's the point? And again, I'm kind of being very hypocritical in a way, you know, saying this, but what's the point of wearing all these nice, gleaming, expensive clothes if you wear them to work every day, and not say to a very special, very beautiful dinner with your loved ones, friends, family, partner, loved ones, anyone. And you can go into houses and all these other material things that we're kind of told to buy and to aim for all the time, because we're told that that's what makes life meaningful, because they're difficult to get, so therefore it makes us have a higher quality of life. When really, as much as I maybe like that kind of stuff, I don't think exactly that it's true. Just because something is difficult and timely to get and expensive to get doesn't mean that it automatically gives you a higher quality of life. To me, it's always the smaller, almost invisible things that really determine that kind of stuff. So yeah, with that, you can kind of just look at all the fancy and material and luxurious and bougie and really just extra things as nothing but an illusion. Right? You're kind of just spending that money to think that you're more special and whatnot now, only to really you're almost kind of brainwashing away just to put yourself further and further into the trap. Say you're making more money and you're buying these more expensive things, but ultimately you're kind of in the same place. You're just kind of surrounded by this illusion of having a higher quality of life, when really you're still going to your 9 to 5 every day and spending at least a third of your day every day at that 9 to 5, and you're kind of just living life on the surface, nothing more. And it kind of brings me to this one story that I also like quite a lot, and I'm gonna do my best to tell it. And I know I'm a little short on time. I'm starting to creep into the general area that I live, so hopefully I can get the point across efficiently and effectively. So we'll find out. But it's called The Paradox. I think this is what it's called. It's called The Paradox and the Mexican Fisherman. And the way that this story goes is that there's an American businessman who visits a small coastal town in Mexico, and he gets there in the morning, and he's at the docks of this small coastal Mexican fishing town, and he sees this fisherman come in from the coast and dock his little fishing boat. And he looks inside his boat and he sees that he has several big, large, good-looking tuna fish in his boat that he caught. And he comes up to the man. The businessman goes up to the fisherman. He greets him, and he says, "Those are some very fine fish you have. How long were you out there for?" And the fisherman looks at him and goes, "Oh, only a couple hours." And the American asks him, "Why don't you stay out a little while longer and catch more fish and make more money selling those fish?" And the fisherman looks at him and he goes, "Well, I go out, I wake up early and I go out to fish and I catch enough to feed my family and to afford to live every day, and that's enough for me. I go out to fish early in the morning and I come back by early afternoon, and I put food on my table for my family, and I make enough money for myself and my family to get by just fine. And because of that, every day I get to spend time with my family and take siestas with my wife every day, and and go to the bar every night with my amigos, and we drink and play guitar and we sing every night, and that's my life, and I'm very happy with it. And the American says to him, well, I have an MBA in business, and I can make you a millionaire. And the Mexican fisherman looks at me and goes, oh wow. He goes, well, how can I do that? And the American starts to tell him, he goes, well, first, you have to spend a lot more hours out in the water catching a lot more fish. And with the extra fish, you sell them and you eventually buy a bigger boat, and then you start to hire employees, and you start to buy more boats. You eventually build up this process until you can start your own enterprise one day, and then from there you'll have to relocate and move to New York City, where you'll have your own corporation and LLC, and you'll have fishing boats with employees all over the coast, and you'll be making more and more money. And eventually you can create and release an IPO, and you can open up your business to the public, release your IPO, sell your company and all your shares to the public, and you can retire a millionaire. The Mexican fisherman looks at me and goes, okay, well, how long will all that take? And the American looks at me and goes, well, if you play all your cards right and you do everything I tell you, probably it'll take around 30 years or so. And so the fisherman goes, well, that's quite a lot of time. Why would I want to, dedicate that much of my life to all that? And the American looks at me and goes, so, you can be a millionaire. You can move wherever you want, live on your own time, and really retire and be financially free. And the Mexican fisherman looks at me and goes, well, why would I want that? And the American replies, so one day you can move to a small coastal Mexican village, and you can wake up early in the morning and go out on the water and catch enough fish for your family, and you can put food on the table and take care of your family just fine, and then you can spend time with your family and go out every night and take siestas with your wife and go to the bar every night and drink and play guitar and sing with your amigos and live a good life because of that. And the fisherman looks at the American and he goes, well, that's exactly what I already have. And I'm gonna wrap it up because I'm just about home now, but the point of that story is that we often overcomplicate things quite a lot in our lives, and a lot of the time the things that we always shoot for at the very end of the day, and the things that we work so hard for so long, have always been available to us and have really been ours already the entire time. And we've just been kind of overcomplicating things and being completely blind in a way to those things the whole time. So yeah, I like that story a lot, and I hope I told it well enough. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys with that. So just remember that there's a lot more to it than you think. Remember to ask me questions. And just remember that, the whole beauty of life is always and has always been right in front of us. And I think a lot of us really just have to wake up in a way and open our eyes to it. And from there, really begin to live the life that we want. So yeah, as always, just know that I'm always rooting for you guys, and we'll talk Monday.